Sometimes we pray for elevation and we continue to do the same behaviors and habits that keeps us stuck and block our blessings. But today, y'all, I want to go over 10 habits that may be holding you back, not just from money, but from your purpose, your peace, your consistency, and your alignment. Let's go ahead and get into some of these. There's many more out there, y'all, but we're going to go ahead and touch on 10 today. Number 1 is over-explaining yourself. Listen, y'all, the fastest way to drain your own energy is feeling the need to have to explain yourself over and over and over again to people who don't care, who don't plan to understand you. And what I realize when we do that is we searching for validation. Just think about, and sometimes it's so innocent, right? But just think about the moments when you explaining your vision, your plan, your goal, your boundaries, and things like that. People don't understand them or don't want to understand them. And you find yourself constantly explaining to them because you want them to understand. You want them to like you. You want them to get you. You want them to get where you're coming from, right? But in reality, they don't have to be on the same page, right? Your vision is what God gave you, not them. So they're not going to understand it. They're not going to understand your boundaries because they may not went through some of the things that you went through to set your boundaries. So we have to realize, like, okay, I don't owe anyone anything. Maybe clarity, but justification, I don't owe you that. What I do owe myself is some peace. I'm not about to drain my energy for you to feel good, for you to understand me, because once I tell you and you don't understand what it is, then I don't have to continue to explain. Some of them try not to understand just to get at you. So stop over-explaining yourself to people. All right, you guys, so the next one, number 2, is confusing busyness with productivity. So I know a lot of times we want to feel busy to feel like we're being productive, but in reality, that's not what it is. So you can have on your list errands you need to run, cleaning the house, all the things on your list. So if you're someone that's ambitious and you have goals and you have plans, you have things that you need to do to move you to the next level. So that is what you really need to have on your list. So when you make a list that you feel like it's a full packed list, ask yourself, even though you're doing the things that you know you have to do on a daily basis, is anything that's in that anything that's on that list, is that something that's going to move you closer to your goal? Or any of those things on the list going towards your purpose? Like, are you actually moving the needle to get to the next level? So say, for instance, a lot of times when there's big projects that we need to do to work on to get to the next level, to maybe increase your finances, maybe to change your habits, your ways, things like that, but we avoid them. We always avoid the things that really will move the needle for us. So the next time you make a list and you feel like you're so busy, ask yourself, am I doing anything that's productive to get me to the next level? Am I doing the things that I'm supposed to do to become her, to become the person that I said I wanted to be, right? Or who I meant to be? Am I doing those things, or am I just doing things just to do them just because I'm procrastinating on what I really need to do? And a lot of times that's what we do. We make ourselves seem so busy that we're doing something and we're being productive, but in reality, when you sit down at night and you plan for the next day, or you think about what you did today, I didn't even step into what I'm supposed to be stepping into to reach my goal. So like, ask yourself that. I done did all this stuff. Yeah, my house smells clean. It looks good. That's okay, right? And a lot of times you do have to clean up and have your space a certain way to be able to focus. Nothing is wrong with that. But after doing all these things, did I do anything to move the needle to get closer to what I need to do? Because busyness, it gives off an illusion. Productivity, it has direction. So I want you guys to remember that the next time you feel like you're being busy. You guys, so the next one is talking about the glow up instead of living it. Listen, we can talk about it, we can post about it, we can visualize it, we can do all the things, but are we actually doing the thing, right? And it all starts in your mindset, your consistency, your habits, your boundaries. It all starts there. So ask yourself, am I changing some of my habits that I'm doing? Am I being consistent with the goal or whatever you're trying to reach? Am I changing my mindset of how I think? Am I still being negative? Am I being positive? Or am I being realistic? Like, what are you doing? Are your thoughts aligning with your actions? Sometimes you have to sit with yourself and ask yourself, okay, listen, I know what I want. I can see it. I can post it. I can tell people all day what it is that I want. But am I actually moving? Am I doing anything? Am I putting feet to the floor, or am I just putting pen to the paper and not doing anything, right? And it's okay to put pen to paper. We can dream all day, but we got to put in that action to get there. And when you do put in that action, it's not going to happen overnight. It may not happen next year, but you still keep going. And a lot of times you just don't need motivation, you need discipline. So once you get disciplined, you learn how to be disciplined, you'll be okay. Your results will eventually start speaking for you. You don't have to talk about it or post about it. Just start doing it. And eventually it'll start showing up and people start seeing it without you even have to post or say anything. All right, you guys. So number 4 is overthinking everything. Overthinking, let me tell y'all, this is me all day. I will overthink myself out of a lot of situations and things, okay? Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not. But a lot of times, overthinking holds us back from so much. When I say so much, so much. We sit there and overthink, is it going to go this way, that way? We doing pros and we doing cons. We talking about we won't fail, we will fail. When I tell you overthinking keeps us stuck, I mean, we stuck and stagnant. We not even moving. Like, we have to release the overthinking. We have to let it go sometimes. I know a lot of times it's hard. You know, a lot of people that's successful, they may overthink, but a lot of them take the action. They take that step. They don't let their mind take over. Because a lot of times with overthinking, we let our mind take over and we at a standstill. We're not getting anything done. We're just sitting there daydreaming, overthinking. And we overthink ourselves out of our own spot. What they say, trick you out your own spot. You will overthink yourself out your whole spot and it'll be too late to do anything. Listen, just remember that faith does not require the full blueprint, but it does require the next obedient step. So once you start taking steps, little baby steps to get there and stop overthinking and analyzing everything, you'll be all right. Because once I start overthinking, this is what I tell myself. Okay, stop. We're not doing that today. I start moving. I start doing other stuff. If you're overthinking, just get up and do something. Fold the clothes, do something. Start moving, right? Once you start moving or you just change the subject from whatever you're thinking about. Once you change the subject and you start moving or doing something, then you'll probably gradually start moving into what you need to be doing. Because if you sit there and just dwell on it, I'm telling y'all, you'll go down a rabbit hole. So what we're not going to do is not overthink. So start working on that habit if that's something you do. Once you start overthinking, just walk away and do something. Actually, guys, so number 5 is holding on to things that you've outgrown. You cannot step into your next season holding on, gripping on to old habits, people, routines, all those things, right? You can't step into the person you're trying to become or who you meant to become holding on to the old things. You're gonna eventually outgrow it, whether you want to or not. It's gonna fall off, okay? And once it starts falling off, don't feel bad. Don't feel like it's your fault, because the people that you used to hang with don't click the same. Conversation is not the same. The things that you used to love to do, you no longer like to do. Once you start feeling those things, you know it's time to kind of fall back and move forward. Sometimes it may come back later on in life, but in this moment and in this season is not for you, okay? It's time to fall back and focus in on you, because what you prayed for is elevation and becoming that woman, that man, or whatever you're trying to become. You were trying to become that person, right? So you're going to have to let go of some things in order to become that person. Once you let go of those things, God will make room for new things for you to elevate, to become the best version of yourself. So when you start feeling that uncomfortable feeling when you're around people, then you know that's a sign. So if it feels heavy and it feels forced, no matter what it is, then that's another sign. And you have to remember, it's not that you're losing, okay? You're not losing out on anything. You're just evolving. And later on in life, you'll see it. Sometimes it takes time. All right, you guys. So number 6 is waiting to feel ready. You will never be 100% ready for anything. I don't care what anybody say. You will not always be 100% because nobody is perfect. You can think your way into being 100% ready. You can be delusional and say that you're 100% ready. That's okay. But you're not going to always be 100%. We tell ourselves all the time, I want to wait till I'm ready to get married. I want to wait till I'm ready to have kids. I want to wait till I do this and I want to wait till that. Okay. Once you think you're ready and once that still happens, you still not ready. Just like that first job or a job that you got, you didn't know the system, you didn't know how to do anything, you was not ready, but your qualifications was there. But once you got in there, you wasn't fully ready. They had to train you to get ready, right? So think about the times where you want to start a business but you're scared because you want to wait until everything is perfect. And then once you wait till everything is perfect, time went by, you still making excuses for something else, waiting till you get ready. Waiting till you get ready is what I learned. It's nothing but an excuse. Okay, I kept saying I'm gonna wait till I'm ready to post these videos. It took me, I would have been posting It's been 8 years since I've been on YouTube, right? And I have not been consistent. But prior to that, it was years before I wanted to post. And I was procrastinating and waiting to feel ready, waiting to this moment, waiting to that moment. Same as my business. I'm waiting to this moment, waiting to that moment. But guess what? The perfect time is not going to always come when you think, right? Even when you think it's the perfect time, you still 2-3 years behind. Because if you would have started 2-3 years ago, you would have been, at the place that you think you're at now. Because at the end of the day, you still got to start from somewhere, and it's not going to always be perfect. So stop waiting to start that business. Stop waiting to go back to school. Stop waiting to post that first video or that cringe video, whatever. However, because a lot of them are cringe for me, but I still post them. Okay? Because I used to always do videos when I was a little girl. My dad used to set the camera up and I would just do videos. So I thought to myself, if I could do that back in the day, what is wrong with me now? Okay, stop always feeling like you got to be ready. You got to have the house this way. Your house got to look that way before you post the content. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to have all the right things, all the right equipment. Is whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish or do. You feel like you want the right moment. When you lose weight, I want to do this. Listen, I've been there. I've told myself that too. So that's why I can tell y'all. But there is no perfect time. There's no perfect moment. Just get out and do it. Okay, once you take that step, you'll be so proud of yourself. So stop looking at what everybody else is doing and feeling like you got to compare yourself to them, and this reason why you not starting when you need to start, because you want to wait till yours look this way to start because you see what somebody else is doing. Baby girl, just start. All right, so number 7 is worrying about what people think. This is another one. It's easy said than done by saying stop worrying about what people think, but we all are human. We all have feelings, and we all go through those stages where we don't want to look embarrassed. We don't want to look stupid, So, and then you probably around people that's always being messy, or have been around people that's always being messy, talking, gossiping. That's just life, right? People gossip, people say this, say that. So in the back of your mind, you always going to think, well, if they said this about that person, then I know they gonna talk about me when I do it. What make me any different, right? So we always gonna feel people gonna talk about us, people gonna say what they wanna say. But guess what? I've realized, and I've come to the conclusion that no matter what you do and how you do it, they still not gonna like you, okay? They're not gonna like how you walk. They're not gonna like how you drink. They're not gonna like the simple things like that about you. But guess what? You are you. God created you. Every last one of us been created different. And what I realized, they don't pay my bill. So why am I worried about it? They don't do nothing for me. So why am I worried about it? So these people that mainly talk junk all day long and, sit up on their phones and type and talk about people, or call on the phone, gossip, and those people are miserable, and they hate themselves and they hate their life. When I started eliminating myself from people that always gossip all day long, I found peace, honey. Like peace. Do you hear me? I remember being around a group of friends that were always had a group chat going. Always talked about everybody. Anything they post or did, they talked about. And it never sat right with me. And I'm not going to say that I am not guilty of gossiping. We all have gossip. I've gossiped, said whatever, and be done with it. But I never just been the type just drama. I don't like it because I don't like people talking about me. So I know I don't want to talk about them unless it's meant for you to be talked about now. Okay. But no, I'm saying people will sit and gossip, and it drains your energy. Like they will sit in that mess in that group chat, and they will send stuff all day long. I would never respond. I had got to a place where I wouldn't respond to nothing. Okay, and they were like, well, why are you acting funny? I've outgrown this stuff. It don't sit right with me, and I don't care about anybody else's life like that. Like, to be honest, that was my thing. I never cared about what nobody else got going on. If it's not in my face, presented to me, or has anything to do with me, I don't care. Like, I really don't. And these people will sit and gossip all day long about people they have know or heard about. And I'm just like, listen, I'm too focused on what's on my own plate. And I had to remove myself. I actually removed myself from that whole little group because this ain't for me. This ain't my vibe. I'm too busy out here trying to figure out how to get some money. Okay, I'm trying to get rich and wealthy. Y'all out here gossiping about everybody. So when I get rich and wealthy, y'all gonna talk about me too? Yes. So besides that, stop worrying about what anybody has to say, because once you start doing what you're doing, they're going to come question and ask you how you done it. Right now they talking junk, right? But they're going to come ask you how you done what you done, whatever goal plans that you're doing. So step into it, step into your power and do what you need to do for yourself, and close out all that noise and focus on yourself, because at the end of the day, you only got you. You your own competition, nobody else's. So that brings me into my next one, which is comparison and self-doubt. Comparison will have you doubting yourself about everything, right? Sometimes you can be having a good day, and then all of a sudden you get on social media, you start scrolling, and you're looking at what somebody else is doing, them achieving things and, living their best lives. And here you are questioning yourself. Well, what am I doing? Why haven't I gotten this far? Why haven't I done this and that? You question yourself about it. But the truth is, and y'all already know, comparison is a thief of joy, and you cannot allow that to come in and take your joy from you, because a lot of times what people are doing and how they're getting what they're getting, you don't know how they're getting what they're getting. A lot of them get it so fast, and you wondering how they getting it, and you feeling away. They're doing things that you probably would never do out of self-respect. You don't know how people got what they got. And to be honest, the battles and the doubts and things that they went through to get what they're getting. Some people, it might have took them 10, 12 years, decades to get where they are. So you can't sit there and compare yourself to them. You just have to start, and you have to focus on yourself. Stop doubting yourself. That's the hardest part. And that's the comparison and self-doubt. Every last one of us in this world has been through. I don't care what anybody has to say. It's just something, and we're human. There's something in life that we're going to go through. Some people may be more evil than others when it comes to comparison, self-doubt, to where some people take it and they get crazy about it. But comparison sometimes can be a natural thing. You can just easily compare your vehicle to somebody else's vehicle, just things like that. And some people can be jealous and envious once they start comparing themselves to other people. So it's a different types sometimes a comparison, but at the end of the day, you need to focus on your own lane, because the more you look at what somebody else is doing, the more you are falling behind. So if it's somebody you're around, or that internet, whatever it is, social media, start removing yourself from things that make you feel less than, or self-doubt, or doubt yourself. Start removing yourself from that. Okay, and then start focusing, loving on you again, and start thinking about what you need to do for yourself, your goals. Let that other stuff go, because again, a lot of that stuff is fake. A lot of times people lie about everything, and you don't know. And even if it's real, when your time comes, it's your time, and can't nobody take your time. So what's for them will be for them, and what's for you will be for you. So you cannot allow what somebody else's time or what they're doing get to you. You have to be like, okay, proud of them, good for them, moving on. Now, when my time comes, this is how I want to do it, X, Y, and Z. Maybe that make you feel better, because that's what I do. And then you have to take it and you have to flip it into get inspiration. If it's somebody or something that doing the same thing that you want to do, get inspired by it, learn from it. Don't sit and dwell on it and feel a certain way about it. Learn from it. Because if it's somebody that has something going on that I may know, or I'm like, okay, and it might be showing off comparison when I say this, but I would tell myself to make myself feel better and be like, okay, yeah, I did want to do that, but this time when I do it, I'm going to do it this way. And I know my time is coming, so when I do it, it's going to look this way. Not to compete, but at the same time, okay, I see how you done that. Maybe I can do tweak mine's a little bit, because this is what I want to do. But most of the time for me, I like to look at people that I don't know. People that I do know, I'm happy for you. Do your thing, because, but it's usually people that I don't know, that's strangers that I may look at on the internet that's reaching goals that I am curious about, because nobody around me is reaching those goals. So people that I know, I don't see it, right? So, but sometimes it's people that I don't know that I compare what they're doing compared to what I may be doing. And I'm like, okay, but I don't know them, so it don't bother me as much. Usually when it's somebody that's doing the same thing that you're doing, it does make you feel away, because it's like, that was my idea. You know what I'm saying? And here and a lot of times people try to compete back and forth. Listen, I don't like to compete. If I feel like I gotta compete, I'm falling back. I don't like competition because I didn't have to compete when I was growing up. So that's just me. But when you compare yourself to somebody that you don't know and you see that they are reaching their goals, it lets you know that, okay, if they're reaching their goals, then it's possible. So get inspired by other people that may be doing something similar to what you're interested in. Once you do that, you can kind of, like build up your own confidence and be able to do what you need to do. Not be exactly like them, but just get inspired, right? So that's how I look at it. A lot of times when I see stuff on the internet, I'm just like, okay, it don't bother me. And not to say that it never will, but sometimes, most of the time, I kind of I don't let things bother me because, for one, I don't search and look. When I'm on social media, I set it only for inspiration. So like my business ideas, things like that. If it's somebody that has like-minded ideas that's doing kind of what I'm into, I may go look for inspiration. Anything else, I am not looking into nobody else's lives. I just don't have the time for it, because once you start looking and lurking in other people's life, it's like you're going down a rabbit hole. You're sitting on the phone 2, 3, 4 hours and you're not getting anything done for yourself because you're too busy looking at what somebody else is doing in their lane. I'm too focused on what's in my lane. And I think people probably feel a way that I don't look at their stories and check their page. I don't have time to, because I am trying to figure out my own thing. And once people understand that you're focused on your own thing and your own piece, then they'll understand. It's all love, right? It's all love. I love you outside of everything, but I don't have time to sit and dwell and watch what you're doing. I just don't. So if you're someone that compares yourself to people, stop watching what they're doing. I don't care. Be like me. I don't care what they're doing. Like, I just don't. Make it to where you don't have time to know what somebody's doing. And it's not to be ugly, but if it's somebody that you know that's a friend that feels the way when you don't interact with them on social media or whatever, then make time to know, okay, let me go check such and such. But anybody else, like, no. I only get on social media to people who inspire me, to make me, to help me get a little bit motivated to do what I need to do. That is kind of how I have set my social media. All right, y'all. Number 9 is struggling to detach. That's kind of like outgrowing, a little bit, not exactly the same, but struggling to detach from people and things and stuff like that. What you have to remember when you detach, sometimes detachment is hard. Even if you're in relationships and you know, okay, I need to detach from this person. This is not healthy, or friendships is not healthy, or jobs is not healthy. Things like that you know you need to detach from. So detachment is not being cold-hearted or anything like that. Detachment is kind of like, you're not allowing things to control you that no longer fit you, if that makes sense. So if you're staying stuck into a situation that you know is not fitting you, that's kind of like you're letting them control you in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm in a relationship or I'm in a friendship that is probably manipulating me, or what am I trying to say, a narcissist or whatever, and I'm still staying stuck, but deep down I know I don't need to be here. You know what I'm saying? So I need to detach, but I am allowing them the emotions and all the things to control me, and it doesn't fit me anymore. So, or things like that. So it's kind of like you're allowing what does not fit you control you to stay stuck in that situation, if that makes sense. But what you have to realize, same thing with outgrowing, is that once you detach from bad habits and bad people and bad things, you'll be able to let the right things come in. So once you detach from what's not meant for you, or people that is not allowing you to, be your best self, you'll be able to become your best self. You'll step into that power once you detach bad things from you. So just like with outgrowing, once you start feeling the feeling that this is not right, it doesn't sit right, the conversation is not right, the feeling of it is not right, the energy and all that, once you realize that and you fall back detached, you'll be able to step into what is meant for you. And that, at the end of the day, is maturity and peace. So people gonna say what they want to say when you detach from them. If it does not feel right to you, you trust your discernment and you fall back and detach and find peace, baby. I promise, the peace is so much better. Y'all just don't understand. All right, you guys. So number 10 is chasing perfection. And once you learn that nothing or no one is perfect, you will live better. I promise y'all. When you stop looking at other people as if they're better than you and start realizing, like, okay, God created us all to be different, and I know that we're all different. We all were gifted with something, and their something may seem like it's a little bit better than my something, but at the same time, they may look a little bit better than me. They may do something this way, that way, but nobody is perfect. Everybody has some type of flaw in them somewhere, somehow. So once you realize that there's no perfect time, there's no perfect person, there's no perfect nothing, okay? Nobody is perfect, no matter how you look at it. Once you put that and instill that in your mind, you can walk in a room and feel like, listen, you ain't no better than me. Okay? Once you realize that that person ain't no better than you, we all are human. Okay? Like, yes, we do get nervous. Yes, we do get butterflies. Yes, yes, yes. But once you instill it in your mind, like, nobody is perfect and nobody is more powerful, you will start moving different. And when you stop waiting for the perfect moment to do anything, life is just passing you by. So stop waiting for the perfect timing. Stop waiting for the perfect person. Stop looking for that perfect relationship, because that perfect relationship is not going to always be perfect. If it show up dressed perfect, eventually it's going to not be as perfect as you think. If it doesn't come perfect, it could possibly come into something beautiful. Quit creating these big long lists and expecting everything on the list to be checked off. It don't always work that way. Okay? Sometimes they don't come dressed perfectly. Sometimes they come with a little baggage on them. But it's up to you or your feelings or your spirit to know whether this is worthy or not. Also, what we're seeing now on social media, a lot of people are not posting the perfect moments and perfect things and times, or being perfect or looking perfect anymore. Everybody is coming to people who are honest, people who are not really just honest, because we don't know what to believe a lot of times on social media, but they're coming to people that's just real, seems real rather to them, because it's a lot of people that can come out real and raw to you and the whole time can be lying to you. So, but nobody is perfect. Once you realize that, you will be so much better off. You'll be so much peaceful, and allow people to be who they are. Even if it do seem like they look more look more perfect than you are, that is okay. Let it be that, because a lot of times what looks perfect on the outside has damage in the inside. Think about the houses that they sell. Honey, the outside can be gorgeous. Look in the inside, they got some pipe problems, they got some wall damage, they got all that stuff, right? And then sometimes on the inside, it can be perfect. On the outside, it's not perfect on the house. So think about those things. So everything is not going to always be exactly what you want. And I had to learn that, because I am picky. I know exactly what I want, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to settle for it. And that's right. Not to look for something perfect. It's okay to be picky. So if you're looking for something that fits for you, allow it to fit for you, not just something perfect that you're not even meeting the criteria for yourself. All right, you guys. So if any of these habits resonated with you, then that does not mean that you're guilty. That just means that you are aware. You are aware of these habits, and that is a good thing. So if any of these touched you, you know what you can be working on, and that is okay, right? Because we're human. But just work on these things, and once you let some of these things out of your way and you get better at them, I promise y'all, you'll be a better person. You will find peace, and you'll be able to accomplish the things that you need to accomplish. What I also want you to remember is that you're not behind. You're just being built. Right now, you're in your building season, okay? Let everybody else do what they're doing. You just focus and lock in on yourself. And I will see you guys on the next video.